This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand the Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you tonight from Ibrox on what was a bad night for Rangers on and off the pitch. A 2-1 defeat to Hibs, meaning Rangers have lost 4 games in a row for the first time since 1983 to increase the pressure on Danny Rule. And a sad end to the Rangers career of James Tavernier. Rumours had swept Glasgow earlier today that he was not in the squad. When we arrived at the ground, that was found to be true, and James Tavernier wasn't in the squad. My understanding before it was that when he was told about the decision that he wouldn't start, that he would come off the bench, that he left. He did come back and received an award from the greatest Ranger, John Greig, and was able to say his goodbyes on the pitch. But Danny Rule, the manager, said afterwards that he spoke to Tav. He let him know that he wanted him to play. He was looking forward to giving him minutes, but that Tav didn't want to do it. We've only heard one side of the story. We don't know what James Tavernier's side of the story is. But what I will say is it wasn't well handled. And what I will say is that it seems lamentable and messy and unnecessary, and just in keeping with what has been an absolute shit show over the last few weeks from Rangers. You will have your own views on whether he should start tonight or whether he shouldn't have. Danny Rule said it's his decision. He decided Tav wouldn't start, and that should have been it. We'll need to find out what James Tavernier thought of it. But as I say, it just feels completely wasteful, and yet somehow in keeping as this season has just fallen off a cliff. Rangers conceded early to Hibs. Manny Fernandez won the ball in midfield, drove forward, lost it, and then jogged back the space he should have been in. Hibs worked the ball to, and Martin Boyle scored. Rangers made a lot of chances in the first half. We really did, and should have scored more goals, but how often have I stood here and said that this season? Rangers did get an equaliser, a brilliant goal. Tello Asgard with a free kick that was on the keeper's side, but was so powerful that the keeper couldn't save it. Into the second half, again, the story continued. Rangers missing chances, and the last 20 minutes, the game just slowed to an absolute crawl, and Hibs, who do still have something to play for, took advantage in the last minute. Yet more terrible defending by Rangers. I counted 5 occasions where Rangers could have done something about it and didn't. Ended up with a low-driven cross being tapped in at the back post, and Rangers lost the game. Danny Rule afterwards spoke about that he needs to make big changes. There has to be big cuts, as he put it. He needs leadership. He needs players who are willing to run and fight and suffer to get this club back to where it should be. He said that Rangers cannot suffer 4 defeats in a row, and he understands the fan frustration about him. I don't really know where he goes from here, because the mood of the support now is mutinous, and I just don't think that there's much of a future for him, because I've seen it too often, and I hope that he's the one that proves it wrong. If Andrew Kavanagh is set on keeping him, and so far we've no indication that that isn't the case, I hope he's the one to prove us wrong. But generally when the fans go, they don't come back, and that's my worry. He may well go on to be an excellent football coach, but I do think the job here at Rangers is too big for him at the moment, and he's drowning in it. And this type of situation is just a symptom of that. Overall, he's in a hell of a situation at Rangers, and let's be honest here, 4 defeats, yes, that's terrible. It's the manner of them, it's when they came, and it's also the fact that the record against the top 6 this season, that's 6 wins in 16 games. It's not new. It seems that Rangers can beat the teams you'd expect us to beat, but when we come to anyone who's a bit more of a challenge, we struggle. That's so far on Danny Rule. I asked the question at the weekend, if he was an interim, would I have said he had done enough to keep his job, and the answer to that would be a firm no. If he is here, his only hope is to make radical changes to that dressing room. Tonight was the first, I think, where he said that, where he's come out and said that, you know, what he doesn't have, and I thought it was telling. But who knows, it might be too little, too late. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll talk to you again on Sunday as we wrap up the season against Falkirk. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.